One West, 125th Street. Look, y'all put y'all faith in presidents like they gon' change this country. Run the league and let y'all play cause y'all gon' make a money. Fuck Obama, he ain't come here on cargo slave ship. What the fuck he do for blacks in his administration? I'm waiting, patient like a saint. Black, Hispanic, Native, they hate your ass the same. Paint Christ in they image, paint you as a slave. God ain't all love, scriptures say he hate. African soul niggas, they know we not the same. School to prison pipeline to get you off the streets. Put you in the cell, toilet connected to the sink. Molested as a kid, she prostituted as a teen. The byproduct of Martin Luther King dream. They just took the yoke off, my nigga, we ain't free. We living bleak in these wastelands of poverty. If you don't know the truth, then the lie sound promising. Prophecy, gift and the curse. Dylan started killing, they was sitting in church. Black folk forgave him, man, this shit is absurd. You should never love your enemy, that shit ain't gon' work. Yeah, fuck dying on your knees, you better die in glory. Man, I joined the ISUPK, taught me the art of warring. I took a nigga life like mine to be recognized. I feel that pain every day, it can't be reconciled. Pops banging, my sister a prostitute. My brother got life, and somehow I still found the truth. War ready, no cowards, no excuse. Fuck reparations, you can't bandage no open wounds. Blood on the leaves, body swing hung from a noose. I was on a run in Nashville and I found the truth. I called the school, class was being held by the shock on my life. I want to be a gangster like a cop. Do this for my brothers, real brotherhood. Everything we do, we got it out this book. My nigga, I can never be no African. UPK the only authorized acronym. I'm passionate about my brothers and sisters. We in hell, I ain't got nothing against them. That's another religion. If it ain't under your honor, ain't me murdered by them and got a hug from your honor. That's the way out for a coward in my observation. They don't fear the Lord, they indoctrinated. Wolves in sheep clothing, Joe Osteen. Real priests bringing back black royalty. One West on my headpiece, ranking order. Can't let them trick me off the streets, I gotta raise my daughter. I got brothers at the border ducking ICE agents. I got the name change, it was life changing. My family thought it was a game, put on all black, they said I was going through a phase. It's more of us in jail than it was slaves. Chose by the Lord, we could never be the same. Soon as they born, the wicked go astray. They left the truth, they wasn't with us anyway. Niggas weak, they just saying anything to be truthful. We don't want no cowards anyway. Look, coronavirus, that's a plague. You don't get too much sleep when you waking up the dead. First camp, I cut off all my dreads. I took an oath when that oil hit my head. Niggas capping like they lids. I'm a priest, I never stick no fork in no pig. I was dead till I found out how to live. This brotherhood taught me how to be a man. I came back to my roots, I had to dig. A couple gaps I had to bridge. I got a rib, I'm married to this work. You wanna serve the Lord, he ain't in the Christian church. Came back to my roots, I had to dig. A couple gaps I had to bridge. I got a rib, I'm married to this work. You wanna serve the Lord, he ain't in the Christian church.
Still here, still scared. UPK, we never left the building. Commanding General Hunter, you know, wow. Check it out. Rolling to America. Seize everything and bring these crackers to their knees. I need everything and I do mean everything. I know they don't like us. Go ahead and try us. Don't make me call upon Lord and put this earth on fire. I'm only getting better and I'm only getting higher. And you are getting weaker. That's why you cannot beat us. I know you do not like us. We don't like you neither. You went against the grain. You should be ashamed. You went against a king. Let's just call it treason. Can't wait for killing season. All that shit that you be preaching. Let me see if you believe it. They say they can't be touched. Well, I'm about to put my hands on them. No more missing nice guy. I gave that spirit up. Lord, give me strength so I can tear this city up. Babylon is falling, but it's just not fast enough. Angels with a nigga, so you niggas cannot touch. Ooh, this shit not adding up. Fucking raise it up. Listen to them devils while you let them gas you up. Yeah. Said I pray they understand. I said I pray they understand. This shit not adding up. Fucking raise it up. Listen to them devils while you let them gas you up. Said I pray they understand. Hey, I said I pray they understand.
They want me to bite my tongue, they don't like criticism. Can't sell oppressors the devil, YouTube restricted niggas. But they can post bitches twerking, police killing niggas. You can rap about catching bodies and millions listen. Bitches rap about they box and children listen. You say you black and gay, to them you still a nigga. You chasing Susie and Becky, they Emmett Tiller niggas. You got the ones that compromise and you got field niggas. It's a real difference, it make me feel different. When I kick on my boots, tie up a meat tree, I know. Well, teaching that camp, nobody teaching. These devils telling lies without getting. They ain't got the integrity, try to reach them. They say they conscious and they woke, but they sleepy. I ain't sparing nobody, I'm going in. It's a rap when I hop up on that podium.
This shit not adding up. Fucking raise it up. Listen to them devils while you let them gas you up. Yeah. Said I pray they understand. I said I pray they understand. This shit not adding up. Fucking raise it up. Listen to them devils while you let them gas you up. Said I pray they understand. Hey, I said I pray they understand.
Hey, Shalom Israel. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commandant General Yohana. I'm Priest and Officer Tapdar. You know what I'm saying? This is the ISUPK Kaleem Brotherhood class. You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and clap it up. I want to go ahead and give a courtesy salute, you know what I'm saying, to the Akim, Shalom, Yahweh, Shem Yahshai, Barakathum, and to the sisters, Shalom, Yahweh, Shemal, Latham, Bashem, Yahweh, you know what I'm saying? Today's class, you know what I'm saying, it came out of a recent, you know what I'm saying, mission we had in Rio, the Rio Grande Valley. You know what I'm saying? We're out there with Officer Kanak, camp leader, you know what I'm saying, of the Rio Grande Valley. We went out there, you know what I mean, boots on the ground, you know what I'm saying, and touch the people to reach out to, you know what I'm saying, to all the 12 tribes. You understand? And while we was out there, you know what I'm saying, we, you know, when we would engage with the people, I noticed like a like a certain trend that would occur when we were talking with the people, and you know, just, you know, getting tacos, eating food, you know what I mean, you know, having a drink or two, whatever like that, and just conversating with the people in the Rio Grande Valley. And you know, usually we'll say things like, you know, who is your father? You know what I'm saying? Are you Hispanic? And a lot of what started to happen was at least from my personal encounters, was that a lot of the Mexicans out there did not like to be referred to as Mexicans. Now, this is not all of them, but a large portion or majority of the quote unquote Hispanics that I encountered, you know, they didn't want to be referred to as Mexican. And you know, and I was like, because we would say, you know, or, you know, is your father, who's your father? Is your father Mexican? And he'd be like, well, no, I'm Hispanic. I don't consider myself Mexican. And it was almost as if it was like a derogatory term. So that's not something that I ever really encountered before. So when I asked the question, you know, they were pretty much like, you know, I consider myself Hispanic because I'm living in America. So it was almost like a class system. So, you know, and, you know, being that this is the brotherhood class, man, I saw immediately how just that little distinction that was made, why it ended up producing the things that I see happening out here on the border between Texas and California and Mexico, and how our brothers, you know what I'm saying, the tribe of Issachar, you know what I'm saying, and all the tribes, whether it be like the Guatemalans, the Hondurans, the Venezuelans, you know what I'm saying, the Guatemalans, why they're all going what they're going through right now. If you're not aware, you know what I'm saying, there was at a point in the last 4 or 5 days, a 15,000 person migrant caravan, you know what I'm saying, that was traveling from South America heading towards America, you know, and recently, you know, it was broken up by the Mexican government. You understand what I'm saying? They broke it up, but they were heading to America in hopes of, you know, finding a better life. You understand? And it was broken up. But, you know, having said that, there are a lot of our brothers, you know what I'm saying, you know, who feel like that they don't look at their brothers across the border as brothers. You understand? They look at them as second-class citizens, and it's really, you know, it's really self-hatred. And this is how you know that blacks, Hispanics, or, you know, blacks, Latinos, Hispanics, or what have you, are the chosen people of God, because these curses, you know what I'm saying, of having an evil eye towards your brother, having an evil eye towards your sister, it only affects our people, man. You understand? We're the only people that will look at, you know what I'm saying, the people who went through exactly what we went through, you understand, or have come out of the same circumstances, and we'll look down on them. You understand? But right now I'm about to play this little video real fast, and just kind of delve into that. You understand? One second. All right. We're gonna watch this real quick. Because it really like, you know, I don't want to use the word fascinated, but it was kind of disturbing. But, you know, I had to like go and do some research on this and see what the dynamic was. All right, go ahead, expand this. Y'all bear with me. All right. Let's see.
Grown comfortable with identifying as Latina.
Run that back.
Comfortable with identifying as Latina.
That's the problem.
As a brown woman in this country with Central American roots, I've grown comfortable with identifying as Latina, but not everyone uses that word. We set out to ask a few new Mexicans how they identify.
I actually identify as Mexican.
I identify myself as Hispanic. I've always identified as Mexican American.
One ethnic group, but a myriad of terms.
For me, it's important to both recognize my parents' background.
Hispanic is more generic.
I think we are reframing how we identify.
Hispanics and or Latinos are one of the fastest growing ethnic groups in the United States.
There's a diversity of terms because there's a diversity of people and experiences.
Which is why one person might choose to use Hispanic over Latino or Chicano over Mexican.
We each come from a different background. Our histories are different. They are linked. However, in the experience of being, you know, descendants of, you know, the colonization of the Americas by Spain.
Hispanic includes people with ancestry from Spain and Spanish-speaking countries in Latin America. Latino recognizes people with Latin American roots, regardless of language spoken, but excludes Spain.
So I think Latino is probably a little more user-friendly, if you will, because people choose that term to say soy Latino or soy Latina.
Chicano is another popular term. University of New Mexico professor Patricia Perrea says it's a word used to describe people of Mexican origin living in the U.S.
It's an interesting term because it is a uniquely American term, something that Mexican American descended people came up with here.
While the term Hispanic or Hispano is more widely used here in New Mexico, it's one that some people just don't like.
It's actually a term put on by the U.S. government. It no longer matters if you're Argentinian or Mexican or Colombian or Puerto Rican. It's to just put us into this kind of comprehensible, even if it's wrongly comprehensible, box.
But New Mexico State University professor Spencer Herrera says some in our region used Hispanic over other terms because of political survival in the 1900s.
Now, this is important, man.
On the East Coast, also in southern states, who didn't want New Mexico to become a state because they saw the state as being full of Mexicans and Indians and not speaking English. And so a lot of people in northern New Mexico particularly, they would say, well, hold on, wait a minute. We're European. We're like you. We're Spanish American. And so they did that to sort of gain equal political grounding, if you will.
Now, I'm pausing it right there. And I don't know if you in the chat, let me know if the volume is good. Just put a 1 in the chat if y'all are able to hear the video. You understand? And, you know, it's coming through clear because, I mean, I'm hearing it from, you know, within the classroom and whatnot. But if y'all are watching, just put like a 1 in the chat if you're able to hear the video clearly. All right, hey, I appreciate that, young man. That brother be on it, man. That brother be on top of it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, shout out to the young man, you know what I'm saying? Okay, the water, I appreciate it. So I'm gonna take two, you know, bear witness, man. Okay, so if y'all are watching the video, man, they're talking about the different variations and distinctions on how, you know, people from South America, you know what I'm saying, to include Colombia, Argentina, you know what I'm saying, El Salvador, Honduras, how they sometimes classify themselves, but then also how when people who are, say, like third generation living in America from South America, or really mainly from Mexico, how they use the term. So to give you an example, in a broader sense, which actually bring up that article, Carl, if you could, in a broader sense, Hispanic is used to cover the gambit of everybody from South America who was basically conquered by Spain. And, you know, the reason why I'm highlighting this and bringing this up is because who else has gone through the experience of being labeled by the government or being grouped together and called by the, you know, whatever the government want to call you? You understand? Nobody's calling the Ukrainians some weird name. You know what I'm saying? They're called Ukrainians. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's calling Germans some weird name to group Germans and Ukrainians and Irish together. You know, each of these groups coming out of whether it be Argentina, Venezuela, El Salvador, these are tribes. These are who the Bible call, you know what I'm saying, the children of God. You know what I'm saying, the 12 tribes of Israel. But this is how you know that we're the chosen people, because we all go through the same experiences. So-called blacks in America were called colored, Afro-American. You understand? What else? Negro. You understand? African American, right? They threw all these labels on us, man. And the deep part about this, and I'm running back to what this gentleman is saying, is that Hispanics or Mexicans that were in New Mexico, you understand, and wanted to create a voting block, they wanted to identify with the European or the white man. So they said, call us Hispanic, because really Hispanic is talking about that you were conquered by Spain and now you're identified by Spain. Because, you know, we sometimes forget that when we're learning Spanish, we're not learning the native tongue of so-called South Americans. You understand? That's not their native indigenous tongue. It's the tongue that they were conquered in because the Spaniards came over there and slaughtered and murdered them. Right. You understand? And what's happening is that, as always, you know, for any people who are in captivity or enslaved, when they come up under their oppressor, they're trying to find a good position. They're trying to find a good seat. They don't want no problems. They don't want no trouble. And hey, someone give me that precept, Salakia, you can't serve two masters real fast, if you could. You know what I'm saying? And what you do is in order for you to get in position with your oppressor, you have to do what? You have to look down and look down on your people and take on his spirit. You understand? You have to take on his spirit and have the same, lack of love or hatred towards your own people. All right. Does anybody got that?
Book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 24.
Uh-huh.
No man can serve two masters.
Read it again.
No man can serve two masters.
Now, a lot of times, because we as a people, I mean, as far as so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, or so-called Hispanics and Native Indians, when we hear no man can serve two masters, we think about a job, right? Your boss on your job. We think about slavery, right? Being in slavery, having a master. But Christ said that the greatest amongst you would be the greatest servant. See, when Christ is talking about no man can serve two masters, if you serve the Lord, the masters is your nation, it's your people. You're serving your people. You understand? And it's impossible to serve the oppressor, to take on his ideals, and to take on his values and have genuine brotherhood and love for your people. It's impossible. You understand? All you can think about is your own situation. You know what I'm saying? And I have some examples of that, and we're going to get into it. But keep reading.
Okay. For either he will hate the one,
right,
and love the other.
Right. You can't love America and love your people. You can't be a patriot. You know what I mean? A flag waving, Pledge of Allegiance. You know what I'm saying? Singing patriot, and then have love for God's people, man. For so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, or Native Indians, man. It's impossible, man. You understand? Because what a lot of these people are going through who call themselves Hispanics, like I said, when I was in Rio and I'm having these conversations with these brothers and sisters, I remember I walked up on two sisters and they were like, guess what I am? You think I'm Mexican or Hispanic? And I was like confounded. I was like, what do you mean Mexican or Hispanic? And she was like, I mean, and what she was saying is, do I look like I just came over the border, or am I Americanized? You know what I'm saying? As if that was something to aspire to, right? But I'm gonna go ahead and continue playing this video. All right.
Will.
Historically, people also use the
Run it
term.
back a little bit.
Like you, we're Spanish American. And so they did that to sort of gain equal political grounding, if you will.
Historically, people also use the term Hispanic to differentiate from those who recently crossed the border.
You hear that?
Many of the first in this country after the indigenous people, but we're often seen as recent immigrants. And I think that a lot of people, shy away from that immigrant experience.
Herrera says the denial of our Spanish language and the dismissal of our indigenous past is another reason why the term Hispanic has become so widely used.
But we have to recognize that those people would not have survived here without our indigenous brothers and sisters.
While terms like Latino or Mexican have become more popular in present day, Perea says many New Mexicans continue to use Hispanic or Hispano because they have for so long. The terminology to describe the Hispanic and the Latino community is complex, but it's one that Perea says everyone should learn about and understand.
We have, this monolithic Latino thing associated with us, but as a person who's not part of that community, not only do you need to be aware of the backstory or even of the issues that are currently affecting this community, it's like you need to listen to what we're saying. Listen to us.
Reporting in Albuquerque, Marissa Armas, KOAT Action 7 News.
Yeah, man. So, as you saw in the video, you know what I'm saying? They use that as a means to separate themselves from their own people. And when you start taking like the names of your oppressor or the labelings of your oppressor to try to make distinctions, like when Chris Rock had that stand up, he said, "I love black people, but I hate niggas." You know what I'm saying? And it's like you're using that to say that you're of a higher class or you're in a different position you know what I'm saying, socially, maybe from an education standpoint, than your people, man. You understand? But this is why Christ said to love ye one another, man. To love ye one another. You understand? Because even in Christ's time, during the time of Romans, they were going through the same thing, man. You understand? And this is the thing, right? How is it? This is the question I have. How is America able to lock up so many so-called Hispanics, so-called Mexicans, so-called, you know what I mean, South Americans? How are they able to lock up so many of our people at the border and put them in cages? How are they able to do that? Does anybody have a answer? Go ahead, Caucasar.
From like what I've seen, like it's our brothers and sisters down there, you know what I'm saying, who are the border patrol, who are, you know what I'm saying, catching our brothers who trying to stop them from gaining a better life.
That's right. Give them a hand, man. Give them a hand. The way that the oppressor is able to oppress and afflict so many of our people is by us. You know, us. It's a little unknown fact that when they were on the hunt for the Native Americans, the ones who did not, I mean, the majority of the Native Americans did not really yield to, the white settlers coming in and taking their land. For the most part, they fought. You understand? Like they fought on this land and they put up a fight. But the way that they were able to sabotage these tribes was because you had traitors amongst the tribes, man. People who took having a job with the United States Army and having, a consistent amount of pay, and they use that as a reason to tear down their own people, their own nation, man. You understand? This is why the scriptures say, envy not the oppressor. You understand? And choose none of his ways. Because in you envying the person that's oppressing you, you end up becoming, you end up oppressing your own people as well. You understand? So, hey, Salakia, priest, give me that, Oh yeah, hey, that's right, sis. It's a breach. You understand? You choosing to look out for your self-interest, to put yourself first, and basically, how can I say it? There's a price on your integrity. There's a bag on your integrity. You understand? Like there's a dollar amount where you're willing to, for lack of a better term, sell out. You know, and I know that phrase is overused a lot. Oh, he's a sellout. He's a sellout. But in the case of us as a nation and us as a people, having all been oppressed by the same slave master of a different tongue. One spoke the king's English. Spoke the king's English. You know what I mean? The English, and the other spoke Spanish. But these are the same people, man. You understand? These are the same people, and in each set of people groups, you had people like W.B. Du Bois, who felt like because he was supported by so-called white liberals or white sympathists to the Negro experience, he was financed and went to college, and he had a college education. If you go and do the research, he had a lot of conflict and battles with Marcus Garvey, because Marcus Garvey was dark-skinned. You know what I'm saying? W.B. Du Bois was light. You know what I'm saying? He attended a lot of high-level colleges, and he had that degree of education, where Marcus Garvey was amongst the people, and he was more like what you would call like a tradesman. You know what I'm saying? He worked with his hands. He dealt with like trading. He had trading capabilities like a Booker T. Washington. You understand? And had a plan, you know what I'm saying, which was the wrong plan to try to take us back to Africa. But his mind was to work with the people. Where W.B. Du Bois felt like for us to gain any ground in this country, we had to be approved by white folks and become educated like they were educated, and to basically, which is always a failed plan, to try to change the system from within, which you can't, man. You understand? Once something is deemed corrupt, it has to be torn down, man, and built from the floor up. For you brothers and sisters out there who feel like that you sending your kid to college, them getting a so-called a $60,000 a year salary job. You see what's going on right now, what the Lord is doing, raising up these gas prices, inflation, the stock market crashing. During COVID, a lot of folks thought they were millionaires. A lot of folks thought that they had escaped depression, that they had gotten out of the lower rungs of the poor of society. You know, you say that you are being like a rebel and moving outside of the system in the box through cryptocurrency, but the devil is the devil. You understand? Hell is hell, and the Lord is never going to let you forget that you're in hell. Oh, please, priest.
If I could, what you're bringing out is super heavy, especially about our people thinking that we can somehow change the system,
right,
or vote our way out of this oppression. Imagine you creating a machine, and then one day one of the gears at the bottom covered in oil says, we need to change how this machine works.
Wow, that's heavy.
We need to, because all us gears down here on the bottom, we getting mistreated, we getting covered in oil, we grimy and we get replaced every 3 months.
Right.
And it complains to you, its creator. You're the man who made it to be the gear at the bottom.
Right.
And that's what blacks and Hispanics have become. We are crying and begging not to be the bottom piece of this machine.
Right.
And that's what we were created to be.
That's exactly right, man.
The only way to get out is to get out of the machine entirely.
Good. Now give him a hand, man. That's exactly right, man. That was a very, very accurate analysis, man. You understand? Like the priest said, we were blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You have to understand this. And I'm about to play this video, man. And it's so heavy, man. It's so much going on in the video. And Lord willing, I'll be able to unpack all of it. But the idea that we feel like we can come here and assimilate into this society, and because my family is okay, right? Because 3 generations of my family removed from Mexico, 3 generations of my family removed from Haiti, 3 generations of my family removed from Jamaica. Now all of a sudden, I can pop my collar and adjust my tie, and now I have what's the word? A sense of pride, or a sense of of superiority, man.
Right.
When no matter what you achieve, your oppressor still looks at you as a slave, man.
That's right.
You understand? And you know what? I kind of still want to take my time with this, man. But just what the priest brought out was so heavy, man. You have to understand that your position in the world of your oppressor is always going to be, like he said, the bottom gear. Like that. The Lord designed you to be the mechanic over the whole vehicle. You understand? But because we don't respect our culture, because we don't respect what the Lord gave us, we're slaves who think that we're kings. Right. I mean, and this is why in our culture, especially for those outside of this body, you'll hear them. People who feel like they've woken up out of their sleep, they've gotten out of the matrix, right? They see what's really going on, like the woke society.
Right.
They'll greet you usually saying one or two things. Grand Rising, right? Grand Rising. They'll say Grand Rising, King or Queen. I even have fake Israelites, who be in my inbox and they'll be like, "Hey, yo, Shalom, King," Shalom, King. And I'm like, dang, it's funny how the blackity blacks and the fake Israelites all use the same terminology. What are we kings of? You understand? If you're not the ruler, you're the slave. And we have deceived ourselves, man. If we're not the superpower, we're not the ones dictating the laws in this country. We're not. Listen, none of us can go and tell Walmart or tell HEB to stop selling pork. You know what I'm saying? The fact that you have to ask when you go to a gas station to get some of that good gas station chicken. Well, if you amongst my brother, that's what we get. That good fried chicken that's at the Circle K. I ain't gonna lie, man. Them East Indians is trying to dig in our recipes, man. You know what I'm saying? They ain't got it yet, but they getting close. They getting close to the formula. You know what I'm saying? Real talk, man. Me and Abon had some chicken yesterday, and it was the brothers with the turbans on, with they turban covered. You know what I'm saying? And it was almost there, right, Abon? It was almost there. You know what I mean? It wasn't mama chicken, but it was almost there, man. You understand? But they try to. We have to go to them and ask them because what do we get? Like some rice and beans, and we had to ask them, yo, is there pork in this? Think about that. The fact that we have to ask that question means that we're slaves.
Right.
Because if we were the rulers, we will be going to the villages saying, is there pork in it? Not because we're worried about defiling ourselves with our power, the Most High, but because we're about to issue out a punishment if they violated our laws, man. You understand? We have to put in vacation requests to go to Passover from our slaves. We have to ask our rulers, our masters, if we can have time off to serve the Lord, man. Who else is the children of Israel? Listen, do you think that the so-called the Jewish man, the Amalekite, is asking permission to celebrate Passover? No, because why? They run Hollywood. They run the music industry. They run the diamond district. You understand? They're behind the scenes in a host of industries, man. Right. They can take off when they want to take off. Who is the slave class that has to go to their master to ask permission to try to serve their God, to serve their power, man? We are, man. Right. But we think because we have a house, that we have a career, you know what I'm saying, that our kids get up and go to a school, maybe a private school, we feel like we're free, man. You understand? And what that does is it turns us against our own people, man. It turns us against our brothers and sisters without knowing it. If you can give me John chapter 8, did I have you holding something? Okay. You can give me John chapter 8, verse 32. And the sis said in the chat, she said, Salakia, sir, like a gift that destroys the heart. It's not like, sis. That's exactly what it is. Right. You understand? And what's heavy is, that's the second part of the scripture. The first part is that oppression makes a wise man mad. But if you don't feel like you're oppressed, that means that you're not wise. Right. That you don't have any wisdom, that you don't have a real knowledge of what's going on, man. You understand? You got that, priest?
Don't cut.
No. Yeah, Most High in Christ. Go ahead.
The book of John, chapter 8, verse 32. And ye shall know the truth.
Oh, actually, go up to 31, or you go up to 31.
Verse 31. Then said Jesus to those Jews which believed on him. If ye continue in my word, then are ye my disciples indeed.
See, you got some people that listen to the ISUPK on the Command General Yohana, and y'all watch the videos, y'all are in class, and y'all will be like, man, that's the truth, man. Like, man, I'm feeling that, right?
Right.
And that's great, man. That's excellent. You understand? But even though you hear the videos and you watch the classes and you hear this truth coming out and you say and you believe, see, belief is not the only requirement for being in the truth, man. You understand? I mean, I can say I believe in gravity, but you're not gonna. But if I get on top of a building and a 40-foot building and I say I'm about to go ahead and jump off, I'm showing that I don't believe in gravity. Because clearly I feel like I can defy gravity by jumping off a skyscraper. You understand? Belief is followed. The proof of belief is the action that follows it. You understand? Go ahead and read again from verse 31. Salakia.
Book of John, chapter 8, verse 31. Then said Jesus to those Jews which believed on him. If ye continue in my word.
If you continue in my word. Because see, a lot of times, man, people come into the truth and they'll hear that Jesus Christ was black. We teach that Jesus Christ that he was a black man. He was from the tribe of Judah, and that blacks, Latinos, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the chosen people of God. And they're like, oh, okay, that's good. That's good. But then we say that the white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. And now they don't want to continue.
Right.
Now they've reached the point where they're going to stop at. You understand? Now it's like, hey, hold on, brother. You're going too far, man. Not all white people are bad. Yeah, not all. Listen. It's some good white folks. And there are some good white folks out there. They kiss our boots every weekend at camp, man. That's you understand? Right. They get on their knees. They have their faces faced towards the earth, and they kiss the boots of the children of the slaves, man. Right. Those are excellent white people. And on top of that, they come and they empty out their bank accounts and their wallets, and they donate to the ISUPK under Command General Yohana. They empty out their accounts. Why do we say that those white people are good white people? Because they have taken an action to show that they're good. It's not lip service. You understand? They're not saying with their mouths that they're good. We see it by their actions, man. But if to prove that a white person is so-called good, You understand? If we say that they're good, then what's the proof that an Israelite is good or an Israelite believes, man? You understand? It's believing the whole truth. This is why Yahushua Christ is saying, if you continue in my word, because you can start off on the good foot, you know what I'm saying, and end up with a broke ankle. You understand? Keep reading, priest.
I'm going. If ye continue in my word, then are ye my disciples indeed.
Then are ye my disciples indeed. What word, and this is a question for the class in the chat as well. What word is associated with disciple? Just look at the word. Anybody in the chat, you can put in the chat. If somebody in the room, go ahead, priest. Say it again.
Discipline.
Discipline. Give him a hand. I think I'm about to ban the officers from asking until the chat respond, because y'all too sharp. Discipline is associated with disciple. You understand? Because in following Christ, Christ said that I am the way, right? And he said it's the narrow path that leads to life, the straightened path. It's a path that requires excessive discipline. You understand? Why? Because everything in this society is trying to get you to fall to your lusts. Everything in this society is trying to get you to turn against your people. Our enemy is an open enemy, but he's not just. How do we know he's an enemy? We know he's an enemy because he kills us in the streets, right? Where you have a mass shooter that goes to Buffalo, New York, and shoots up the top grocery store. They arrest him without incident, right? Then you have Sandra Bland or Sean Bell, who was with his wife that day, going to their reception after their wedding, and he gets hit with 41 bullets with no gun on him. Sandra Bland gets pulled over, and you know how sisters are. She had a little bit of sass in her mouth, but that wasn't a death sentence. You understand? And she gets locked up and ends up dead in a cell by herself in some small Texas town, man. You understand? That's how we know that they are enemies. How do we know that they're the enemies of our people? Because you have Hispanic and Latino children and adults and women locked up at the border, separated from their families, man, and being deported back into Mexico, into cartel country. This is how we know that they are enemies. We know that they're the enemies of our families. Why? Because they offer the woman government aid, right? But what has to happen? The man cannot be in the house. If you want the government to support you, that man has to leave. So we know that they're the enemies of our families. How else do we know that they're the enemies of the families of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians? Because you have an abortion clinic like you have a church every 4 or 5 blocks in a Black or Hispanic neighborhood, man. Right. They're the enemies of our families, man. You understand? They're the enemies of our children. How do we know this? Because they have drag queens and transgenders at the library having story time, reading to your children, looking like goddamn demons, man. You understand? Reading stories to your children. They're the enemies of our children, man. There is a focused attack on Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, and the goal is for us to assimilate into their culture while they destroy us, man. You understand? And that's where we lose the brotherhood at, man. The Lord gave us this culture, this covenant, this agreement, and he based it on at the foundation. This is why Christ said, upon these two does all the law hang. You understand? Which is to what, man? Which is to what? To love your neighbor as yourself, man. You understand? And to love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, man. That's the foundation. You understand? Our love for the Lord who gave us our culture, who gave us the opportunity to be in rulership and to love our brothers, man. You know, I'm gonna say this, man. It starts so small. It starts with the subtle disrespect. The idea that you can look down on your brother and look at him as if he's less than you. Right. Even in raising your voice at your brother or gossiping behind your sister's back. These little things of disrespect, you're really removing yourself from the opportunity and the quality of being in rulership. Because in this kingdom, the strong don't rule over the weak. You understand? The weak are served by the strong. You understand? And what the oppressor is doing is he's taking those of us who are strong, have a place in society, a good job, education, and he's using us against our own people, man. Okay? Salakia, if you can keep reading, priest. Salakia.
Verse 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
Now, this is the deep part. The Jews that believed on Christ, he's saying, if you continue in my word, you'll know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Why would Christ say that to them? Because read again from 31, Baba Kashar.
Verse 31. Then said Jesus to those Jews which believed on him, if ye continue in my word, then are ye my disciples indeed. Verse 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
See, just you saying that you believe on Christ doesn't mean that you know the truth or that you're in the truth. John the Baptist believed on Christ. He believed on Christ. He told everybody about Christ. Ain't that what Christians do? Right? Jesus, you need Jesus. You need Jesus. You know what I mean? You need the Lord. You need the Lord. Right? Ain't that what they say? So-called fake Israelite groups, they tell you about Christ being black, but you knowing about Christ, you hearing Christ, and you saying you believe on Christ is not an indication that you're in the truth. And in order for you to be free, you would have to know the truth. But what's heavy to me is how they respond to Christ when he says this. Now, mind you, these are the Jews that believed on him. Right? Go ahead, priest.
Verse 33. They answered him, we be Abraham's seed.
We be what?
We be Abraham's seed.
That's heavy, man. These people are invoking Abraham. They're invoking Abraham. Read it again.
They answered him, we be Abraham's seed.
Keep going.
And were never in bondage to any man.
Now think about this, man. Think about this. They're saying we be Abraham's seed, and we're never in bondage to any man. To any man. Now, let me ask y'all this question. Was Abraham's seed ever in bondage? And if they were in bondage, who were they in bondage to? In the chat, anybody. Who was Abraham's seed in bondage to? I'm gonna take some time. This is class. We ain't no rush. The Tyler's in here are loving in class. They're so excited. The zeal in their cup runneth over. Anybody in the chat? Who was what you hear where the Jews that believed on Christ said that this is the book of John, chapter 8, verse 33. Read it again, priest. Look, man, I need some participation. I know y'all out there got some answers. I see y'all in other classes. Don't do me like that. Okay.
Could you repeat the question one time?
Right. Okay, no sweat. I'll definitely do that. Just read the precept one more time.
Verse 33. They answered him, we be Abraham's seed, and were never in bondage to any man.
So right now, what's heavy about this is, okay, who was the superpower that was ruling over Israel in the time of Christ? That's my first question. Who was Israel in captivity of in the time of Christ? Anybody in the chat? Go ahead, sis. You had your hand raised. You gotta give something up. Seeking eternal life, the Romans. Give her a hand or him a hand. Salaki, I don't know which one. I'm sorry. Whoever seeking eternal life, I don't know if you a sister or a brother, Salakia. So forgive me. I'm sure you checked in. Let me go make sure because I don't want to offend. Oh, and that give the sister a hand too. She said the Romans. Salakia. That's Salakia, sis. Salakia, sis. Salakia. But y'all are right. The Romans. Okay. So now they were under the Roman captivity, but they're telling Christ that we're Abraham's seed and have never been in bondage to anyone.
Right.
Okay. So what? Okay, let me take the time to unpack this. They're under a current captivity, and they feel like they're not. But even if you were to say under the Roman captivity, they didn't consider it slavery, which is insane. But if you say you're Abraham's seed, where did Abraham's seed go into captivity to? Now I'll take it from an officer. Give him a hand, please. Give him a hand, man. Abraham's seed went into captivity in Egypt. So what does that tell you? It tells you that these Jews living in Israel had a complete disconnect from the suffering of their prior generations, man. Isn't that what we go right now? You have blacks who say, I was never in slavery. I'm not getting whipped on my back. I'm not being oppressed. I'm able to go out here and invest in crypto and make $100,000. I can do Forex trading and make $60,000. I have a 4-bedroom, 3-bath house. I have a Mercedes Benz in the driveway. I'm not oppressed. I'm not picking cotton in the field. You understand? I'm not what they went through. I'm not a slave. But like I said earlier, if you're not the ruler, then you're the slave. Right. If you're not the superpower, then you're in captivity, man. If you're not on the top, then where are you at? On the bottom. There is no gray area. You know, the United States loves to talk about the middle class. And it's so heavy because that's where most of our people try to strive to get to, the middle. Right. You understand? But right now, with these gas prices going up, with these meat prices going up, with these bread prices going up, and eventually we're gonna have a water crisis, not just a food crisis, and it's coming. We're in the beginning of a serious downturn in recession, man. You understand? Bitcoin right now is at $20,000. I should check. What's the price of Bitcoin? It's 22,000. It was at 60,000 4 months ago. Almost 70,000. You understand? The Lord is making sure that you understand that you have not escaped hell. You thought that you were sitting in heavenly places in the kingdom of your oppressor, and the Lord is letting you know that you are still in hell, man. Right? You understand? We can still hear a story about LeBron James getting pulled over and getting shot dead because they confused him for somebody else, or they didn't recognize his plates, or he wasn't driving in a Benz. That can still happen, man. And right here you have these Jews in the time of Christ saying, we're Abraham's seed. We've never been in bondage to nobody. Oh, we come from Africa. We're kings and queens. We're the rulers of the earth. We're the original man. Listen, man, ain't nothing original about you having to go get take a goddamn drug test to get a job, man. Right. Ain't nothing original about that. You calling yourself God. You understand? Where's your power at? You know, a lot of these these Muslims, you know what I'm saying? They be having like the headband with the universe and the stars on it and all that stuff. Or, you know what I mean? They say the black man is God. Listen, man, what are we the gods of? Because we can do backflips. We can flip over cars and somersault over cars because we excel in sports, because we make the best music and we cook the food the best. Your child has to go to school, and you can't prevent that school from stopping them from putting a curriculum about homosexuality in your children's classes, man. Oh, go ahead, Priest Salakia.
No, what you're saying is super, super heavy to all of these conscious Muslims, all these people.
Right.
Say they're so powerful, they're queens, they're gods,
right?
They're kings. You don't have the power to change the curriculum in your children's school.
Good night.
You don't have the power to change a goddamn thing in your neighborhood. Damn near you can't change a damn thing in your house.
Right.
You can't
Good
even
night.
control your wife.
Right.
And you're talking about you're a queen, you're a king, and you're a god. Goddamn, Kevin Gates, he say he a god. He can't stop his wife from going and giving it up to his best friend.
Actually, Salakia, that's heavy. Because from what I gathered, I mean, I didn't really delve into it, but it was his wife's they both their trainer, and she's like a very tall lesbian. Like, you know, the sister that got caught up in, huh? Well, then okay, then that's something. It's a twofold situation.
A twofold
Right, because he said I didn't appreciate my private trainer invading my private space, and it's a female, and she favors that sister that got locked up in Russia, Brittany Gardner. She looks like her. You know what I'm saying? But you know what's so heavy about that, priest, and so like if I interrupted your thought, please continue. But what's so heavy about what you're saying is, man, is that we can't even rule our own households. Right. You understand? Like, just being practical. But we're calling ourselves these titles, man. You understand? And let me tell you something. The scriptures say that when